Yeah, 75 minutes, I think it was, 75 minutes long. This is not going to be nearly as long. This is probably going to be potentially more informative. Definitely going to be not just a telling, but a showing of things. And I think you will find it very interesting. We're going to put to bed a lot of rumors and a lot of lies that have been going around. Frankly, some of this stuff is going to be since day one, right? So, unfortunately, because this is the internet, you can have anybody say anything, right? And when you mix what anybody can say anywhere, anytime, any place with ambiguity, then you can make anything sound like anything, right? However, when you're behind the scenes and you are, there's certain things you can't say for obvious reasons. We had discussed this on the last AMA. It sucks when you have the truth and you could destroy people with the truth, but at the same time, it takes a lot of strength to not do so. Well, some of that's going to end
destroy some people tonight.
Well, we're probably destroy some people and some arguments, right? I think so. So I want to direct you guys over to the info sessions channel. You can do that while you're in here. So we'll not kick you out, right? You only get kicked out if you disconnect. You can still browse around the actual Discord server. So the first thing, we're going to start easy. This is a gimme, right? This is not even the best of. This is just like a little bonus. Let me give you the dessert first. Since day one, we had said, now, by the way, I just want to make something clear. I am by no means defending Gaxsys with what I'm about to post, just so you're well aware of that, okay? Let's just keep that in mind. However, we had said since day one that Gaxsys was working on getting its SRO. Raise your hands if you remember that, just so I'm not going crazy. Maybe I'm, maybe I'm misremembering something, right? We had said that Gaxsys had its SRO, it lapsed, and they were getting it again. Right? Yeah, half century mark. That's
they hired a company
right there.
They hired a company called Quantum Leap Strategies, Yelena Udina, and she refiled their SRO, which they claimed was lapsed due to a change in directorship.
Okay, that's true. And did you know that they actually got their SRO?
No way.
No way. Well, I know nobody knows that. It's a rhetorical
question.
Prove it. Right? Prove it. Yeah. So they got their SRO a year and a half ago. Watch this. Go to the channel, please.
I'm going to the channel.
Please watch that video if you don't mind. It's Gaxsys, pardon me, that's Gaxus SRO proof from August 10th, 2024. Just to let you know how long ago that was. In the middle of all this stuff, it just wasn't a big deal. So what you're watching is a recording from my phone, because I took a recording of it at the time, because I said, nobody's going to believe this, right? I almost quoted Boondocks, but I can't do that. Nobody's going to believe this, so I went ahead and recorded it. That's August 10th, 2024 at 11:37 a.m. my time. By the way, I didn't get a lot of steps in that morning. You'll notice there, right? Yeah, feel free to watch that. There's no sound to it, by the way, so if you're trying to look at sound, it's not there, right? But you'll see it on searching the SRO member search. And Gaxsys and Gaxsys Holding right there. They got their SRO just like we said they were going to get their SRO. So by the way, I'm just going to put that to bed. It's just very easy. It's a very easy one. Not super duper important, but super important for you to know that when we said they were going to get it, they did get it, in fact. Now, if you go right now, you'll notice they don't have it. That's because me and Gavin got it pulled, by the way. Why did we get it pulled, Gavin? Why would we do such a thing?
Because they're criminals and scammers.
Yeah.
And they forged my signature on their documents when they registered their SRO. That's where everyone gasps. What?
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, so we worked with authorities to get their registration pulled and started an Interpol investigation.
Yep. Just a little something. Like I say, the only purpose to that is the fact that, look, this actually did happen. Right now, the reality is, they got it, and we went and got it pulled because at that time, that was a time where we had stopped communicating with them, right? And that was a time where we went and got it reported, and we got it pulled. Okay, so that's the reason for it. So I just thought that you might find that interesting. If you go and search for the SRO right now, it's not there, but it was there August 10th, 2024. They did have their SRO. So putting that to bed.
I wanted the good stuff. What everyone came here.
Onto the good stuff. That was just that was a bonus. There is not a big significance in the SRO, by the way. It's just I'm proving a point. We said they were getting it, and they got it. That's the point, right? So that's the reason for it. Right? You don't need an SRO to like trade. You don't need that. Okay. Anyway, what do you want to show next, Gavin? What do you want to show next?
The Brokerage AML hold email. So as we made everyone aware, I was no longer the CEO of XETA Capital because we closed down the U.S. company and moved operations to Belize. Ian Richings, the new CEO. So when we did the very first Genesis withdrawal, because he was the executive on the accounts, he had to submit the request for a status update on the withdrawal status. So Showtime's going to show the email from November 8th, where Ian emailed the brokerage requesting an update on our $12 million withdrawal. And then November 14th and 15th, we'll see the replies from the brokerage.
You know, the email that doesn't exist, the withdrawal that doesn't exist, the trading
The
that
AML doesn't exist.
the AML hold
Brokerage
that doesn't
that doesn't
exist,
exist.
all the stuff that doesn't exist. You can read that. I'm going to continue. I'm going to drop them all in there. They're in the proper order. Okay, just so you know. It says you could see the request. You could see the response. You can see there was a hold. You can see how long they said the hold was, which is exactly what we said it was at the time, right? And then you can see there was a follow-up for more information. You can see after the 90-day period had elapsed, there was another follow-up for information. And you can see after the last follow-up is them responding, say they needed more time. 90 working days, not 90 days. Okay? So for the withdrawals that don't exist, the trade that doesn't exist, the AML hold that doesn't exist, all the stuff made up, wrong again. Wrong again. I'm sorry. I feel bad if that was anything that people bought into, among the many other lies that exist. Any questions on that, by the way? Or actually, how about this? Any questions on anything so far? I know that there was some hands up. Don't worry about it. I mean, maybe we'll have time for that, maybe not. But yeah, you got a question, just type it in. You type it in here, type it in Zeta chat. It's fine. Either way.
Right. So the brokerage is ECG Brokerage Dubai. They're licensed out of Kazakhstan.
Yep. Just so you guys know.
And as soon as they were served with a lawsuit, they shut down their website and tried to shut down operations.
By the way, I'm going to add some context here. Thanks to the message that sent that to me. I appreciate it. Good to hear from you again, by the way. Unnamed person, I won't name you, just in case. You're looking at that saying, who's this broker? That's the broker that it went from Equiti. Even though I know Equiti is going on the internet line and say they never provided services, they 110% provide services. In fact, that's going to come next. I'm going to show you proof of that in just a second. But this is the brokerage, if you recall, when we went into Genesis. It's been so long. We went into Genesis and had to move brokers. Equiti to ECG. That's where it went. When we did the withdrawal, the first withdrawal, those are the emails you're looking at. Good call.
By the way, I saw this information leaked in a certain hater group once, and I was like, wow, how'd they figure that out? Only to see the bigger group of retards try to discredit it. So if somebody tells you that it's ECG brokers in Dubai, and they've pulled down their website, so you go and Google another company called ECG Prime out of Cyprus, which is in Greece, again, a different country, and then you say their website's not down. Did the public school system fail you, or am I too tough?
Well,
Wrong country,
ECG,
wrong name.
just so you know, ECG went down because I was harassing them. That's why they went down. When I say harassing them, I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. I'll put it very broadly. Right. So they decided they're just going to shut their website down. Right. So.
Well, what's the next document? Is it the NAV one?
Yes. You want to answer any questions? You must move on.
I think we'll just knock it all out and then
Yeah, let's knock it all out. We can get back to the questions.
And then come in and figure out what they want to know.
Yeah. I agree with that. All right, so you saw the Gaxus SRO, just like I said, a little fun thing. You see the AML emails, the withdrawal, the request, the follow-ups, the this, the that, all the stuff we were saying, right? I'm going to show you something from a gentleman.
All the things that somebody said they were so sure didn't exist. Even though, by the way, Zeta members, there are some of you that have seen some of this stuff over the last 2 years. There are Zeta members who have assisted us in recovery efforts. So thank you for who you are, and when you're comfortable, feel free to come forward in the community and say who you were. But yeah, so this information was out there. And there's even a few people that took some of this information, and again, they tried to take it to the hate groups, betraying our trust, and they just didn't believe it. Ultimately, I think, because all true information they discredit to keep people off the hunt for where the money is. It's the only logical explanation I can think of.
Well, yeah. So, tell you what, let's post this, and then I will let me mess it out. Type right. If I could type right, then I'll do it. Right there, you go. Okay. It's going to be a couple of messages here, so you can look at this first. Okay, so Gavin, this is the Navin stuff. You want to explain this, or do you want me to?
Yeah, this is a DM between Nav and I. So Navin Bhal was the introducer broker for Equiti and for ECG for Gaxus Holding, or for Dan and Braden. This is him coming up with an excuse with me about him trying to say what he knows was true. First of all, I know the Belize stuff is true because I saw the articles of incorporation. So he says here, yes, they did put the company together in Belize, and funds were put into trading, but Zeta never got registered with Equiti, which I told you yesterday, but funds were allocated to trading. We have other conversations about that. But anyway, because logo was used early, Equiti were informed. See what this is this is where Equiti told us we had to call them a custodian, but we couldn't call them a partner. We never called them a partner. We said they were a custodian, which is the instructions they gave us. Sherlock went and emailed them and kept saying, oh, they're saying you're a partner. That's why Equiti chose that language in their letter, saying we're not a partner. We never were a partner with them. They were the custodians of our funds. And this is him saying funds went to Equiti. Because again, if you contact Navin Bhal, like the authorities have, all he'll ever say, and his claim to innocence is all he does is connect people with regulated brokers and take a commission off the trades, which is legal.
Yeah, so you guys can Google this if you want, but an IB, introducer broker, look at it almost as like affiliate networking in a way, but combine that with an actual brokerage, right? So you introduce somebody, the person you introduce opens an account, whether it's self-managed or it's managed by somebody else, they do trading, they earn a percentage of those profits. That's called an introducer broker, an IB. It's very common with brokerages, how they bring in new business. It's part of marketing tactics, et cetera, et cetera. Navin Bhal is whatever, an IB of Equiti and ECG brokers, by the way, both.
Are you ready for the next image?
Yep.
All right, everyone. So this is Nav. Remember when we told you we got hooked up with somebody through the community who was a business person in Dubai who works for the government, who was able to get us somebody who was willing to custodian the funds so we could deal with the LP/bank flagging issue that they were coming up with. So this is when our guy pulled them all into a meeting. So this is a group chat with Navin Bhal, who is the IB, myself, Showtime, Ricky Juneja, who was the owner of the wealth management company that was the LP, who were saying they were having the banking issue, our advocate, and Madding King. Now, why would Madding King be there? Because Madding had another fund that he set up with Daniel Kingsley on the side. So while we had Zeta, he was raising money himself for another fund. And lo and behold, the same thing that happened to us, after we had our AML hold freeze, he went out and raised more funds, and then he couldn't pull his funds out either. A different excuse, but still a similar issue. So, as a courtesy, we invited him into these so that we could all get our stuff resolved together. Well, he elected to take these conversations and have his lawyer give them over to the Tennessee people. So, the people in Tennessee who just lost their lawsuit against us in laughable fashion have known that we were in contact with the LP owner, the IB, and we were actively working with the gentleman referred to as General Zod to recover the funds, and they've known it. What's the date here? 2024?
Yep. Yeah, towards the end of 2024. Did we lose you, Gavin, by chance?
No, I'm just letting that sink in for people, letting them read.
Oh, my bad. I thought we lost you. No, anyway, so yeah, by the way, with one thing, I know Gavin's pointed out one thing, but one thing I wanted to point out too is, be careful what you read on the internet, because as it turns out, people can lie. That's a surprising thing, I know. So when you see that Equiti says that they never provided services, wrong again. Wrong again. They just don't want to admit it because that letter was a legal agreement between them and Braden Palmer. That's what we found out. It was so that Braden Palmer would not get sued by Equiti. So they put up that letter as a resolution to it. Right? And you could see here the IB clearly saying, oh yeah, it was at Equiti, and then it was moved, and yeah, no problem. And he's the IB. He would know. He was bringing people to Equiti. He would bring people to ECG. He would know. And people have had these conversations too, by the way. So you have, people filing lawsuits. They had this. So a question that I would ask is, did the people who were the plaintiffs on that case know this? Did they have this information? Did they have these messages? Because if you're a plaintiff, is whatever, on that case, and you did not have access to these messages, you were defrauded. You were defrauded because what's the definition of fraud? If you're misrepresenting or you're intentionally leaving out information, and then you're getting people to sign up for a case, and now you're asking for their money. So if you don't know what you're signing up for, how can you in good conscience sign up for it?
Well, what did Madding say when he wanted to offer up an explanation for the information to say, hey, look, here's what this is what we were doing? He said they weren't interested. He said they had zero interest in hearing anything other than what they've already come to in their own head.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Madness.
Yeah, they were not interested in another story because they wanted their own narrative. They were not interested.
Now, hold on a second. How would somebody knowingly lie in court? What kind of a person would do that? I mean, it's not like they were already found negligent in a previous court case, right?
But wait, there's more. There's a Billy Mays
But
thing,
wait,
right?
there's more.
Billy Mays is.
Yeah, everyone. So remember when I came back to Discord and I reminded everyone to stop getting freaked out because you're reading things being concocted by somebody who was already found negligent in a Tennessee court, and then he took the exact same negligent, shoddy detective work and passed it off to a gentleman named Rodney Riley to waste his money in another loser lawsuit, just to waste his money? Yeah, that's because he was.
So I just posted a screenshot. By the way, it's public information. You can go and pull this off the case where I sued Daniel Megibben in court. You can go pull this. It's just, if you only hear it from one side and you only hear the side that the person who claims to win, which you didn't win, it was a dismissal, will show you, then you will miss what the court said. Let me read this to you.
Yeah, so I heard he won. Didn't he beat your ass in court because you're a liar and the court said you're a liar and we're thieves and criminals? That what happened?
Well, that's his story, but it's not the actual story. So let me do this. Let me actually read what this says, because this may be like, what is this? Why does this matter? The court acknowledges the plaintiff's argument.
Read it together?
Yeah, I'm going to read it right now. So let me read this.
Okay.
The court acknowledges that the plaintiff's argument that the defendant acted with knowledge or reckless disregard as to the falsity of the statements when he did not search public records, which is true, surrounding the alleged criminal transactions prior to posting the alleged false statements. In other words, Daniel Megibben didn't do his research, okay? Or he only took what he wanted to find, but acted with reckless disregard for the actual truth. However, the court finds this comports with mere negligence rather than the heightened standard of actual malice. What the heck does that mean? So they classified me as a quasi-celebrity. I'm going to use the term. It's not the actual term they use, but it's like a quasi-celebrity. What that means is that in a defamation case, you have to prove that somebody acted with malice. Whereas a regular person who's not like a celebrity, doesn't have any kind of celebrity status in the court, all you have to prove is that they're negligent. What this is saying is that he was negligent. He was not acting with malice. By the way, that word, comport, it means to act in a specific way, and it's an agreement. What it's saying is that the court agrees that he acted with mere negligence. Now, negligence with what?
He wasn't mean. He just retarded.
Yeah.
It goes back.
So negligence with the information and the air quote research that he claims he did. So what did that do? What did he do then after he was called negligent in court? What he did was he repackaged the exact same information. He took the exact same lawyer who knows nothing about crypto. He knows nothing about securities, knows nothing about blockchain. He goes to Rodney and he fools Rodney into paying for this lawsuit, repackages the exact same information where he was already called negligent by a judge, the exact same information with the exact same lawyer who knows nothing about crypto, and he fooled Rodney, and he fooled my brother, and he fooled Greentree, and he fooled all the other people that I won't name because for certain reasons.
I think he enlisted El Cohen, that lying Jew.
Just all these people into joining this lawsuit with negligent information. And now they want to appeal it. It's as if Rodney has not realized yet that he's been fooled. He has not realized it yet. I hope he's coming around, but he hasn't realized it yet. He's been played by this guy. He was played by this guy, and I'll explain why. Because he took this negligent information, same attorney that doesn't know anything about crypto. They filed this case. He fooled him into thinking PCC was the same thing so that Daniel could join the lawsuit, because Daniel was never a part of Zeta. He could never join a Zeta lawsuit, ever.
Wait, what did the Tennessee court say about you and McGibbon? So you first went to Chancery Court, and then they said that no contract existed between you two because in no way, shape, or form has he ever been a customer of yours. So it had to get moved to a different court. Isn't that true?
They did say that there was no contract. There was no contract. And therefore, because there was no contract, you then had to repackage this information and try to include a company that had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it, just so he could join it.
But in his lawsuit, he said that during your 2-week tenure, you stole all his money. Even the court said there was no connection between you two.
Well, I also had to correct his math. You know, I don't have an MBA, but even I can see when a chart's falling. Even I can see the amount of money I put in. Right? But I had to correct his math on that. So the whole point of this is not a Megibben bashing session. I think he exists to bash himself. The whole point is that the court found him negligent, and he intentionally took that information and ran to these people, filed a federal case, fooled Rodney, added PCC, reused the same information, and couldn't even make an argument after rewriting it 9 times.
And the whole time they sued us so that our counsel told us not to say anything. We had to wait till this stuff shook out. So in the interim, in the delta, in the void left from our voices, they start creating all these fairy tales about It's just, it really is stupid. The stuff they said was so stupid. The judge said they didn't even have to look at our evidence. Again, public record, go look it up.
Yep. So anyway, so here you got just a few things. You know, we're gonna do a few of these. We're gonna do a few of these. I mean, there's a lot, guys. You have no idea the amount of stuff. You have no idea. You know, no idea. Would you believe me if I said, for example, would you believe me if I said, for example, I had the very, very, very first call with the PCC people recorded, where I was introduced, where I was brought in. We got Lear as well, Jordan, Variable Bull. Nothing against those guys, you know, except for Lee. Nobody's ever seen that.
Oh,
Nobody has any.
you mean Daniel Megibben's old boss?
Daniel Megibben's old boss, Lee Earlswell. Yeah, good old Lee. Good old Lee. Guys, you have no idea the amount of stuff. You have no idea the amount of stuff. But I think this, for example, so going back just to the original stuff, or previous stuff for a minute here, okay? So the whole point here is to show you some things, right? Because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to show it. And the reality is, we said Gaxus was going to get their SRO, they got their SRO, we got it pulled, right? The reality is, there was a change from Equiti to ECG, there was a change from Equiti to ECG, there was a withdrawal request, there was an AML hold for 90 days, then there was another AML hold for 90 days, all reality. And then also finally, you see that there's an IB for both brokers that confirmed that both funds went there. This guy that was the introducer for both sides. And then, of course, you can see that the people took this information and were negligent. And by the way, just to reiterate again, they had those messages with the IB. So if they've been going around saying certain things and not showing this to the other plaintiffs, and they defrauded them. That's just the reality of it. And with that, that's great to summarize that.
In fact, Megibben likes to go around and show everybody the portion of the conversation where Nat is telling everybody that Braden got banned from Equiti and Dan's about to be.
Yeah.
But he said it didn't exist.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, guys, listen.
One man's lies has opened up multiple people across the world to a malicious practice suit.
You know, I want to go to word very carefully, but it makes you wonder what else I have. Just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder when,
like, the information on that guy with the Cyprus number.
You know, yeah, the Cyprus number. Good guy. I like that Niall. He's a good guy. I like him. Tried to hide behind the Cyprus, but didn't work. No, Niall's a great guy. But yeah. So anyway, you want to take a couple questions, Gavin? You down for some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't want to sound too enthused.
Lee. Okay, I'm gonna bring Lee up.
Fredrickson or Erswell? Because I got something to say to one of them.
I did say Lee. I didn't clarify. That's funny. I should have clarified that. Lee Fredericks, I invite you. There you go.
Yeah.
Lee, how are you? Great to talk to you, sir.
Hey, doing just great. Like everyone, I'm just wondering where the process is right now towards getting the funds back. Now,
So right now we have a legal note in the city of Dubai through the Dubai courts holding the brokerage liable for the deposits made to it plus damages. Currently, we're in the process of the collections. So they're taking status of all their stuff. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, to be candid.
okay, that's my question.
Lee, real quick, if you don't mind me asking, did you happen to listen to the previous AMA from Friday?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah, it was long, but we explained it there. Yeah, so basically it's in collections at the moment.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you bet. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Chappie, come on up. You have to hit that accept button, by the way, if I invite you up on stage. I don't think it brings you up just automatically. Okay. That didn't work for some reason. Let's see. Couple questions. We'll do a couple questions here. Half Century Mark. This is Gaxus. Gaxus were the fund managers. They made all those decisions, transferring, trading, all that. That was the agreement we had with them. I believe those agreements were posted publicly as well for a long time. So when people say like there is no guarantee with them, there is no agreement. That stuff was all public from day one. It was public. And Cross was the question about 12 million. That was the withdrawal at that time. So what we're showing in the email was at that time when we performed the withdrawal, or when our partners performed the withdrawal. That was the answer they were given.
All right, remember, folks, that would have been the first and second withdrawals from Zeta Genesis.
Yes. So Half Century Mark, yeah, the answer to your question is it's in collections, right? It's a lot of money to be collected, so it's a process.
And don't think they don't try to fight it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure they're going to try to make it slow and all that, right? Yeah, Half Century Mark, come on up. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Blessed.
I'm just wondering, like, if it's in collections. So you've been granted the court proceedings, and so now you're in collections, and so it's just a matter of collecting the money, whether it's through real estate transactions or whatever else. Just finding the money.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean the simple answer to that question is yes.
Well, because you just mentioned that they'll fight it, but like, if you've already been granted it in court, then what can they fight?
You'd be amazed what they could say. But they can move very slowly. And have you ever heard of people trying to hide things? Like maybe a bunch of salons that they owns in Turkey? We have everything on everyone. It's crazy. They hired they hired a forensics firm to trace all the crypto and the digital stuff. And unlike the people in Tennessee that hired those guys from Oklahoma, who think that if you swap one token for another in the same wallet, it's money laundering.
How about them? Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, go ahead.
It's just a sort of a waiting game.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's just a real waiting game. First time for all of us, by the way.
Yeah. No,
but it was a difficult journey to even get here.
As far as hiding things, I mean, I always try to hide my crypto transactions from the government anyway, so I understand that.
Say that.
Right, now he's on a list somewhere.
It's democratization and the permissionless, decentralized system is why we're in crypto. So I don't blame you, to be honest.
Well, crypto's gone to fits, and I've moved to the forex market, but that's a whole different conversation.
Be careful there. Be careful there. Yeah, it's a interesting times, man.
I've been doing pretty well, but I'll leave it there.
Good for you. Don't advertise if you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Keep that down low.
All right, thanks, guys.
Hey, you bet, man. Thanks for coming up. Good talking to you. Jay, good. That would be the NFT amount, divisible, if you recall. How long ago did collections start? Well, the court order was in September. I think that was mentioned in the AMA. Takes time.
September 11th.
Yeah.
A day that will live in infamy.
Yeah. Right. So, if you look at court proceedings, I mean, just look here in America. You have a fake lawsuit that they hadn't make an argument with, just to go back to that for a brief moment. It took like 15 months, 16 months. You know, so it's crazy. I mean, and there's no collection amount in that, so you can imagine. So.
Well, because they didn't actually make any claims. We made a lot of claims, and we had evidence, and we had actual blockchain evidence, not spaghetti string gobbledygook.
Right. Correct. Could a settlement be made where they say they only pay half out? That's definitely
been offered and denied.
Yeah.
But yeah, they can offer that. What they can do is what they can do. What will be accepted is nothing less than everything they own. If they don't have enough to make us whole, then I'll take everything they have, and then some.
I might ask for their hand too, but I don't know if I'll get it. Over there.
We're winning them over.
Gavin's the expert on that. I know about Sharia law.
Tough on crime and low taxes.
Well,
the Republican paradise over here.
Yeah, it's probably a good reason. So we can end this in just a short moment. Just real quick, based on what was shared, any questions based on what was shared, just out of curiosity? I am kind of like curious. What entity is in possession of the funds?
Varies. That's a part we can't talk about because we know some things that were done, and we don't want people to know that we know they were done.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. More to come on that.
You got a level where people think they're slick and they think they got away with it.
Yeah. Again,
by the way, everyone, you ever find it interesting that no one at Zeta turned on each other? Sorry, man. But you notice that nobody, like, typically when these projects die away, you have mods, you have staff members, you have all these people being like, oh, here's what really happened. There's no Ashes of Creation storyline here. It's pretty simple. We got given some bozo answers, so we sued them, and we won. And in the interim, we had the bozo brigade trying to deflect. But nothing they did could have stopped this. We're going to win.
Nothing to stop in this train. Nothing. Walter White.
Then we started seeing World War III trying to start to happen, and I was like, oh, God, come on, no, please.
No, Louis, bad actor, bro. Not too many good actors. That's what I found, not too many. But that doesn't mean that if there's not somebody up here talking, they're a bad actor. Just want to point that out. Just kind of, again, I mentioned this in the last, AMA. If you haven't caught it or don't remember, it was a long time. But keep in mind, like I said, me and Gavin were the primary two people trying to go get these funds back. We're the primary two people that were being attacked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're primarily two people on a lawsuit when the company had more than two people. I mean, I go back to my freeway thing again. They sued everybody, including the freaking event planners. Like, wouldn't you just sue everybody that breathed oxygen if that's what you were really trying to do? Or would you target the people you were trying to make it hard for? So just tossing that out there. So you mentioned bad actors, good actors, so I decided to toss that out there again, right? What do I know? What do I know? I know a lot more than I lead on.
Again, the crazy part is anytime real information got leaked, they actively fought it. Panda BJJ and freaking Trichoderma SPP went out of their way to fight every piece of real information. I would watch them pull on strings that were made up, invented, the most gnarly stuff you could think of. And every time someone dropped something that made me wince, like, what? They would go out of their way writing whole essays about how this couldn't possibly be true. If you hear hooves, you got to think zebras, not horses. It was crazy. And then I watched people start to believe it. I'm like, what the fuck? It's nuts.
Well,
anywho, well, there you go, guys. Everything we said was true. Like we always said, we have receipts. This is crypto. This is blockchain. This is distributed ledger technology. Our blockchain has a 10 out of 10 from hacking. You can look it up. It's public. There's no walking up to the smart contract. Any one of you that are actual Zeta members can go into your wallet and you can track every transaction you ever made with Zeta. Our treasury is public. You can literally pull whatever you put into the Zeta treasury. And anything that was moved from the treasury only went to one wallet. And that was the Gaxus outbound wallet. And then it went to one exchange. Maybe two. I think we played with the KuCoin for a little bit, but it didn't work out or whatever. But it's really easy. There's a simple chain.
So guys, we're going to be doing some more of these. If you haven't noticed, I'm taking my foot off the gas. I'm putting it on the gas more so. And I can speak for Gavin. I know he's doing the same thing as well. So it's been long enough. And we're getting much closer to the resolution, I believe, in this. So it's time to show some things. It's time to sort of draw the battle lines between truth and fiction. Right? Because a lot of fiction is very, very, very easy to spin fiction. But it's even easier to post the truth. You just got to do it at the right time. God's time is perfect. So that's the reality of that. So I think we're going to end with that. I guess, we're going to do more of these. If you got more questions, let us know. Try to answer them in the chat, but we're going to do some more of these. We'll get this recorded if it's all not already recorded, and we'll get this uploaded. I'm just going to keep putting it on my YouTube channel, make it easier, and we'll go from there. So go ahead and check out the Info Sessions channel, and that channel is going to stay open. You can take that information, save it, share it, use it, whatever you want to do with it. Truth has a certain power to it. It's got a certain ring to it. And with that, Gavin, you have anything you want to say before we end?
No, just thanks, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you giving us your time. And I apologize for the long delta between information. It wasn't my fault.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Good way to end it. Okay, guys. Well, God bless. We will talk again soon. And we'll do another one of these, It won't be too long between. But now, God bless. Have a great Monday.
Oh,
take care.
Matt, we did have one thing. Sorry, before we sign off.
What?
We had one little call to action. So I noticed the captain of the retard brigade said that if we had a lawsuit, we should have a third party verify it. Well, there are certain members of the community who have already seen it. They've seen it in the Dubai court website. So what I would like to do, Matt, if you're okay with it, is I would like to figure out if there are any Zetarians who are willing to dox themselves to us, sign an NDA, and we'll show it to you. That way, no one else can keep accusing us of lying.
Yep. That's a good thought. And it will, this is kind of dumb to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's got to be someone that actually has money in the project. So it can't just be some random person. It actually has to be someone that has something on the line, right? Happy to do that. So how do we do that? Just, that's a good question. I wasn't prepared to come up with the process. I'll tell you what, I'll come up with something. I'll let you guys know about it. I don't have anything prepared at the moment. I don't have like a channel or a forum or anything like that. But if you guys are willing to do that, that'd be great. And, I don't know like people's wallets or who you are and, how much you have in or anything like that. I do know there are certain whales because you guys have been here for so long. But, if somebody has something on the line, they're not going to mess it up by sharing it. Because, again, you can't share it. The main reason you can't share it is it's stolen collections. So it'd be very big if you shared it. That would mess things up. So anyway, that would be good, and that would be sort of like a third party verification, but from somebody who actually has skin in the game. That would be great. So anyway, we'll come up with something like that. But just post in the Zeta chat or something, or DM me. You could DM me too. If you can't DM me, send me a friend request. I'll accept it, and you can just DM me. That might be the easiest way to do it. So you don't have to post it publicly. And then we can figure out something. We'll do a couple people at most, or maybe just one or two. I don't know, but we'll figure something out. So if you're interested in that, yeah, that'd be great. Okay. Anything else, Gavin? Am I missing anything? Sorry.
Finn.
No. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
No save rounds.
Right. Okay. Great, guys. If there's anything else, again, for that, what we just said, you DM me, whatever, reach out to me, get a hold of me, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, until next time, God bless. Talk soon. Take care.